As I sit here in my dimly lit room, I can't help but feel a sense of dread wash over me. It's been months since we moved into this house, and ever since then, strange things have been happening. At first, I brushed it off as just my imagination playing tricks on me, but as the days went by, it became clear that something was not right. My name is Gina and I live in this house with my boyfriend, Alex. We were so excited when we found this place, it was perfect in every way. Little did we know, it would turn into our worst nightmare. It all started with small things, like doors slamming shut on their own and objects moving by themselves. We would hear strange noises at night, like whispers and footsteps. But whenever we went to investigate, there was no one there. We tried to ignore it and convince ourselves that it was just an old house settling, but deep down, we both knew there was something more sinister at play. One night, as we were getting ready for bed, I saw a figure standing in the corner of our room. It was tall and dark, with glowing red eyes. I screamed and woke Alex up, but when he turned on the lights, there was no one there. He tried to calm me down, saying that it was just a nightmare, but I knew what I saw was real. From that night on, things only got worse. We would wake up with scratches and bruises on our bodies, and sometimes we would even see handprints on our skin. We both knew that these were not caused by each other, but we were too afraid to admit that something was haunting us. We decided to seek help and called in a paranormal investigator. He did some research on the house and found out that it was built on an ancient burial ground. The previous owners never disclosed this information to us, and we were furious. The investigator also told us that there were multiple evil spirits residing in this house, and they were not happy with our presence. He performed a cleansing ritual, but it seemed to only anger the spirits more. They started to appear more frequently, and their presence was becoming more and more malevolent. We were living in constant fear, never knowing when they would strike next. Alex and I tried to leave the house, but every time we tried to pack our things and move out, something would stop us. It was as if the spirits didn't want us to leave, and they were doing everything in their power to keep us trapped in this house. As the days went by, our relationship started to deteriorate. We were constantly on edge and arguing with each other, blaming the other for our misfortunes. We were both suffering, physically and emotionally. And we didn't know how much longer we could take it. One night, as we were lying in bed, we heard a loud crash coming from the living room. We cautiously made our way out of the room, and what we saw still haunts me to this day. Our living room was in shambles, furniture was overturned, and there was a strong smell of sulfur in the air. We knew that this was the work of the evil spirits, and we were terrified, but what scared us the most was when we heard a voice whisper in our ears, "You will never leave this house alive." We knew then that we were not going to make it out of this alive. The spirits were determined to keep us here, and there was nothing we could do about it. In a last-ditch effort to save ourselves, we contacted a priest and begged him to perform an exorcism. He arrived at our house, and as soon as he stepped inside, he could feel the malevolent energy that surrounded us. He started the exorcism, but it was too late. The spirits were too strong, and they were not going to let us go without a fight. As the exorcism continued, the spirits became more aggressive. They were throwing objects at us and scratching us with their long, sharp nails. The priest was doing everything in his power to banish them, but it seemed like a never-ending battle. In the midst of all the chaos, I saw Alex being dragged across the room by an invisible force. I screamed and tried to run to him, but I was held back by an unseen entity. I watched in horror as Alex was thrown against the wall, his body lifeless. I knew then that there was no hope for us. I was all alone, surrounded by these evil spirits, and I knew that I was next. I closed my eyes and waited for the inevitable, but then, everything went quiet. I opened my eyes to see that the spirits were gone, and the priest was standing in front of me, holding a cross. He told me that he had banished the spirits, but at a great cost. He said that Alex's soul was trapped in this house, and he would never be able to rest in peace. I was devastated. Not only had I lost the love of my life, but I was also stuck in this house, haunted by his spirit for eternity. The priest left, and I was left alone in this house, With nothing but my grief and guilt, I tried to leave the house, but I couldn't. I was trapped here, just like Alex's soul. I could feel his presence, and I knew that he was still here with me. But it wasn't the same. He was angry and tormented, and I couldn't blame him. I was the one who convinced him to move into this house, and now, he was paying the ultimate price. I spend my days and nights in this house, haunted by the memories of our love and the horrors that we faced. I know that I will never leave this place. And I will never be at peace. This house will forever be known as the place where love turned into a nightmare, and I will forever be known as the girl who couldn't save her boyfriend from the clutches of evil spirits.